Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whenever you hear this message, I pray that you are poised to receive, to accept, and to respond to words of wisdom. Ashe. No conversation about Awon Yami Osoronga can be complete without having a thorough discussion of the element of anger, which is one of the main ingredients in the recipe for making and sustaining and intensifying the energy of Awon Yami Osoronga. And this is well understood within the culture, right? Yoruba people, in layman's terms, will have lots of anecdotal stories about the wrath of Awon Yami Osoronga. And that cultural or social perception is by and large rooted or substantiated in the Odu Ifa. So there are lots of verses of Ifa that talk about the anger and the wrath of Awon Yami Osoronga. And in my most recent book, The Shadow Mothers, I go into pretty good detail about the origins, for example, of this wrath, right? How in the beginning it was humanity, it was people who had offended Awon Yami Osoronga, and then as a result of that offense, Awon Yami declared war on humanity, so that everything, all the progress that humanity tries to make, Awon Yami Osoronga is sworn to undo or to thwart those efforts. And so, that particular verse is really important because it dispels this misunderstanding that a lot of folks have that the wrath of Awon Yami Osoronga is reserved for men. No, that is not the case. Women get it, men get it, even children, right? Like I said, all of humanity is stricken by that Awon Yami Osoronga. It's just, that's the way it is written in the text. Is how we know who they are and what their nature is and what they do and why they do what they do. But really more importantly, what I know from my work, and as a human services professional, that is, as a teacher, as a counselor, as a trainer, is that a huge percentage of the people who are angry, and I don't mean that people who something happens and they get angry as a result. You have a car accident and then you get angry, or somebody steals your wallet and you get angry. I don't mean that. I mean the people who are inclined to anger, people who have a disgruntled, angry disposition. A lot of it has to do with the fact that those folks lack imagination. And when I say that they lack imagination, I don't mean that they're not artists or they're not, creative. They're not a good dancer or they're not a good painter or something like that. I mean, they lack imagination in the sense that there are most people have maybe 4 or 5 ways to persuade other people. That is, most people only have like 5 different ways to get what they want. Okay, but there's 20 different ways to persuade people. There are 20 different ways to get what you want. Most people have like 4 or 5. Okay, and so it may look like you ask for what you want. You tell somebody what you want, right? If they don't give it to you, then you go to manipulation. You start twisting things around and mixing things up and doing whatever you can so that inadvertently, right, they end up giving you what you want. If manipulation doesn't work, maybe you go to crying or some sort of an emotional appeal or some sort of a moral appeal, right? You want sympathy or you want them to do it because it's the right thing. If that doesn't work, you go to aggression, you go to intimidation, you go to bullying, you go to violence, right? And about that range, right? That's the average person's range of persuasion and influence. But there's so many more facets of human interaction. There's so many more ways to persuade someone to do what you want them to do, or to give you what you want from them. Okay? And so what I find is that even before a person, for example, gets to the point that they ask for what they want, there's a huge percentage of the population that are fuming mad because they want something, they need something, but they don't know how to ask for it. So they'll go over and they'll stand next to what they want. They'll be close to it. They'll be in proximity to it. And they know it's close by. They can smell it. They can feel it. They can hear it. They can almost taste it. Instead of asking for it, they start doing, like the third baseman. You ever watch baseball? Third baseman is doing all kinds of little gestures and, you know what I mean, to try to telegraph or communicate through this cryptic set of signals what they want. And then when people can't figure it out, then they get angry and they sit on that anger and it festers and it becomes resentment, and then it explodes. Blah. That is an even bigger set of the population than the people who ask and get rejected. Most people don't even take the chance to get rejected and exercise the other forms of persuasion. And I've noted that a lot of people who are drawn to Awon, Iyami, Osoronga, they do so out of deep-seated anger. They're holding on to anger, right? And they want revenge. They want retribution. They want influence. They want power over situations and over people. And they would like to believe that this is the way to get what they want. And again, in my book, The Shadow Mothers, I've got a really good segment on the shadow, right? Because this is a set of attributes and characteristics that people don't want to acknowledge. And that's what the shadow is all about. The shadow is everything that you are, but you don't want to be. You don't want to acknowledge that you are. And so as a result of ignoring it, right, it just gets darker and darker and darker and becomes more and more intense and more powerful. And it expresses itself in antisocial ways. And so the book has a lot of fantastic insights into what it looks like, right? When Awon, Iyami, Osoronga is expressed in an uncontrolled, unacknowledged way, right? And I am really confident that this is going to be a contribution to our overall conversation as a community that is going to really elevate our understanding. It's going to shift the dynamics of our conversation in such a way that we have never seen before. But I'm really, really confident that's going to be supremely powerful and positive for us overall. And so the book is going to be launched any day now. And if you'd like to get a little survey or a little sampling of the book, I'm going to leave a link in the description section below. And you go to that link and leave me your email. I'll send you a free download of the sampling of the book. And then when the book launches officially, I'll give you the opportunity to pre-order it at a discount. So either way, I'm really eager to engage in conversation with you, and I look forward to hearing from you. And hope you enjoy the book. Bye for now. Odabo.